Hey, there he is. Can you hear me? Okay, I cannot hear you.
How about now?
Now I can hear you. What do you know about that?
Is that a green screen?
No, it's the real live outdoors.
No. That's
Yeah,
it. So
I know it really does.
we're still in quarantine, so quarantine season around here.
True, true.
Um, we got video again, which will be good. That putting up that video took forever.
I know, man. It was a nightmare.
We could not figure it out, but we
Yeah,
figured out how to save it now. Figured out.
it should be a little bit faster this next time. It was weird.
Yeah, it should definitely be faster this time. Last
Yeah,
time was
brutal. Yeah, because we're working remotely too, so we can't just give each other like a flash drive. Like, okay, here's the file. Yeah, we have to upload it to the cloud, and uploading video to the cloud takes forever. So. But no, it was good. It's worth it. I'm glad we have the video.
yeah.
Sweet.
No, I'm super glad we have it too.
Yeah. Once we get back to a studio again, we could literally just like set up a webcam or something super simple, just like so we can keep having it once all the craziness is done.
Definitely.
Like it's not like this is lo-fi anyways, you know? Like it
Still works.
could be chill. Yeah, exactly. I listened to the Weekend album yesterday. Did you hear the bonus tracks yet? Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. Did you hear the bonus tracks?
Yeah, I heard him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Man. I feel like I don't know, man. The Weeknd's like obviously talented, and I think the album was obviously good, and there's obviously like good themes and everything. But I just don't emotionally connect to his music, and I try to. I try to like sit down and like let it sink in. I love Blinding Lights. That connects with me. But other stuff just doesn't. And I'm like, oh, I can tell everyone's having a party, and it just feels like I'm just like standing outside of like a glass like concert.
I
And I'm like,
think
oh, everyone looks like they're having a great time, and they should be. And I'm not. I don't know. But that's not to say it's bad.
no, not at all. The I think part of the reason why a lot of people like it is because there's lots of tracks and lots of like lines references throughout the album
Mm-hmm.
that refer to like other albums in the past.
See, yeah.
So it's kind of like he took like the best elements of every one of his past projects and kind of put them into one project. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like it's very like nostalgic feeling for a lot of like old Weekend fans, where I just feel like if you're newer to him, you're kind of confused on what he's trying to do.
Sure. Yeah. I was like, I think there's like some like subliminal messaging going on, but I don't know enough about
It
him
definitely was.
to know what's happening.
Like callback lines and stuff like that throughout the whole thing.
Right. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it, man. Here's probably the most impressive thing to this album. And I think if you listen to this album, take a step back, think about it, then listen to it again, I think you'll really realize that for how different sounding each track is, it's a very cohesive album.
Okay.
Like there's very like different sounding tracks. So you have your trap R&B tracks, so you have your 80s synth pop traps, you have your dark neo soul tracks. Like he goes all over the way like artistically with it, but there's still like this cohesive feeling to the whole thing. It's very, I think very few artists are able to do like he did. Like Drake's one of those other people who like can do 10 different genres on an album but doesn't feel out of place.
Right. It all kind of just sits together nicely somehow.
Yeah, it doesn't feel inauthentic. It still feels like him.
That's a good point too, the inauthentic thing, because it's like even if it sonically works, sometimes it can be like, why are you jumping genre to genre, or like bringing all these instruments, like are you just running out of ideas? But yeah, good artists can like really bring in other genres and just make it work. That's so interesting.
Yeah, I think a big reason why a lot of people connect with The Weeknd is he's a lot of darkness, Like he exhibits a lot of like toxic behavior. He exhibits a lot of like dark moods and feelings in his music.
Mm-hmm.
But just juxtapose that is like not only like now, so he has that feeling right to everything he does, but he has like these beats that are like up tempo and like fun,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so you don't know how you feel. And then
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while, that's not often, but every once in a while, you'll throw in a line talking about like how he doesn't want to do better, how he does want to become a better person, but he always goes back to the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
He tries again. He tries to be the person he should be, and he
Yeah.
goes back to his old ways. And I think he's probably one of my favorite artists, at least. I think a lot of people would agree. He's one of the best artists at like communicating the internal struggle of trying to be good, but also reverting to the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Constant back and forth.
I feel that. It's funny you say that because when I was listening to it, I was like, because sometimes there are artists that it's almost like you just miss the boat on, like emotionally, or like you're never in the right mood to hear it, or just something like you could love another artist, but just for some small reason you're just not connecting. And I was like, if
Yeah.
I was on like a narcotic right now, I think I'd be open enough and I'd be in like the dark mood to
Oh,
really
Ken.
like connect to it, but I'm not, and so
Some
I think I'm gonna miss the boat.
you do exactly that. You do
And
exactly
report
that,
back, report back on the pod.
but also do it at nighttime.
See, yeah.
Because he said before the album was released, like this is nighttime music. This is not daytime music.
I listen to it in the morning.
Listen, yeah, no, this is the last thing you should have done.
Classic
Literally
mistake.
midnight, drive around your car, or just sit in your car. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have what you know. Do that. Do whatever you have to do.
Do whatever
Listen
I
to the
need to be
album.
ready to listen to it.
It's different.
Yeah, I think you're
I
right.
think I think there was also a lot more songs about heartbreak. So obviously, if you're in an emotional state where you're thinking about heartbreak, you're gonna relate to it more. But
Mm-hmm.
again, he has a weird way of evoking emotions that like everyone universally feels,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a life that everyone universally feels. You know?
I kind of know. I don't really know much of his backstory, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't think most people went to the extent he did in life with drug experimentation and
Hmm.
literally living in a whorehouse in Toronto.
Oh, you did?
Like, yeah, I'll
It's
send you a
like,
video explaining his life story. It's pretty insane.
it's
I
crazy.
mean, the reason why he calls him the weekend because he left home one weekend, never came back.
Oh, well.
That's why he calls himself the weekend.
Huh.
He's 17. He's moved out, lived on a mattress
Wow.
in a house full of prostitutes, and was doing every drug imaginable for like a few years.
Dang. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
That's what inspired House of Balloons, which is arguably one of the greatest R&B projects of all time.
Mm.
And then
Was
it kind of
he?
snowballed from him, and then
Yeah, that's interesting. See, this is what I was saying the other week, where like if you know the backstory of an artist, it makes it so much easier to like the music or whatever art they're putting out because you
yeah,
like have more of context.
yeah.
I'm sure there are like whole entire genres of music that I just might never come to appreciate. And I'd like to, I'm working on that, but like there's entirely possible. There are whole genres I'll just never come around to.
I'm glad you said that, Ken, because I think one thing that draws the weekend in with a lot of people is he didn't start like the neo soul R&B genre,
Mm-hmm.
but he's most definitely the one who like put it that made it commercially like successful.
Mm.
Like his first few mixtapes were just neo soul, like grungy feeling. Leah kind of did that in a way.
Right.
You know, Miguel and a few other people kind of did that, but not to the extent that he did. He took it to a wholly different level
Yeah.
artistically.
Yeah.
He kind of like obviously he's more pop now. He does more hip hop, but like that's what he started as. He kind of brought that genre to the forefront.
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'll listen to it again. What I'll probably honestly do is just give myself a weekend at some point and just, no pun intended, and just like listen through his discography at some point. Have you ever heard of the Dissect podcast?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been listening to the To Pimp a Butterfly season of that, and it's super
Oh,
interesting.
nice. Yeah, I heard that was a good one to listen to.
Yeah. I heard of it because I was saying the similar thing about Frank Ocean, where I'm like, it's clear he's got to be super talented, but it's hard for me to like listen to his music. I just don't naturally enjoy it. But so one of my coworkers is like, try that podcast, and then you're like, hear the nuances, and then I think you might like it. So,
right.
Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with a weekend season of that show. Like I would listen to that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I listened to it for sure. What was your favorite and least favorite track?
Favorite was Blinding Lights. Least favorite, let me see. I actually don't know if I have a least favorite. For whatever reason, the Escape from LA it wasn't my personal favorite, but maybe if I listened to it again, I would like it more. But for some reason, I just got annoyed listening to it. But
The track was like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Genius thing right now. One thing I did like that was kind of unique. I liked that horn outro that was on In Your Eyes. That was the first time I'd heard that song, and that was kind of interesting. That was like a weird like breakdown you don't normally hear in a song like that. So,
have you seen the video?
No, they have a video for it.
Yeah, super weird, but like pretty interesting concept. It's like I forget the director's name. It's like Antonio something. He directed all the Weeknd's videos for the album so far.
Oh, okay.
And he they all connect.
Okay.
So it's like Heartless, Blinding Lights, After Hours, then Into Your Eyes. They're all like with like a continuous like storyline. So
interesting.
Yeah, go watch those.
Cool. What about you?
Well, we talked about Blinding Lights on the podcast before.
Yep.
So like he released Heartless, After Hours, Blinding Lights, those songs. Those songs have a completely different meaning and context after you listen through the album.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like it's a completely different listen. Because if you listen closely to the album all the way through, if you listen through it, a lot of the songs will end in the key that the next song starts in. If you listen closely, it's not every time, but a lot of the time it'll continue on, like it's a continuous song almost.
Sure.
So it's like a true album, like that would have been done like back in the day, you know, like a true album,
like a concerto or something.
No, honestly.
Wow, that's cool.
And so my favorite was the song "Faith" going to Blinding Lights because the song "Faith" ends on the same key that Blinding Lights starts in.
Interesting.
It's a really cool listen.
Interesting,
especially at night.
It's different at night.
No, Ken, I'm telling you, you cannot listen to this album during the day. It has to be when it's pitch black out. Like it has to be. I'm serious.
Oh man, no, I'm sure you're right.
Different feeling.
Oh man, yeah, I think you got to be right about that because it's everything. The whole thing sounds nocturnal. Every time I hear them, I feel like it's a nighttime vibe, a nighttime potentially high experience.
Yeah. So he released like a teaser for the album, like released the name of the album. He released this like 40-second like clip, whatever, on Instagram and YouTube, and they like distantly like play like this song.
Okay.
And I was like, "What is this? This sounds like I was losing my mind." Right, the same way it was with Blinding Lights when they released some Mercedes commercial. I was like, "What is this song? I need to hear it."
Yeah.
So then with the same thing with the teaser, right? And it ended up being Faith. And Faith goes right into Blinding Lights. So those are my two favorite tracks. It's
sure.
And to make it even better, you have Heartless right before Faith. So it's like this is perfect all the way through.
Wow. Do you have a least favorite song or a song that just wasn't You're a huge fan.
Can you read the track listing if you have it right there?
Yeah, Alone Again, Too Late, Hardest to Love, Scared to Live, Snow Child, Escape from LA, Heartless Faith, Blinding Lights, In Your Eyes, Save Your Tears, Repeat After Me, which is an interlude, After Hours, Until I Bleed Out, and then the 3 bonus tracks are Nothing Compares, Missed You, and Final Lullaby.
I loved the whole album all the way through.
Okay.
I didn't see any reason for the bonus tracks. To me, they were just
a little bit extra.
They're just throwaway tracks. I mean, to me, I didn't like feel anything. I heard them just kind of like meh.
Yeah. Final Lullaby had a kind of a strange sound to it.
This is one of those few times where an artist will release an album, an LP, and I love all the tracks, and all the bonus tracks I don't like. To me, it's usually like oh, like this bonus track's really good. Why wasn't this in the album instead of this song that could have been swapped out and made a better album?
Yeah.
This is the first time where it was like, no, the final cut of the official album was the right choices.
Right.
This is the first time where like I wholeheartedly agree with every choice for the album over the other bonus tracks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's like, don't add, it's like having an encore with less strong jokes or songs.
Yeah.
You're doing that.
It's exactly what it felt like.
That's weird. I wonder if that was just like a marketing tactic or something. I
think it was like, oh, everyone's in quarantine. Let me just put out these records and get a little bit of streaming revenue from it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think that's all it was.
Cash grab.
But apparently he made music videos for them and is going to release them in the next couple weeks here.
For the bonus tracks?
Yeah, apparently he like filmed something for him.
Okay.
I was looking online. Yeah, so we'll see, I guess, what happens with that.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if or when people are going to start being able to tour again.
They're saying touring is not going to happen until 2021, but people are already rescheduling comedy shows and concerts for like the fall.
The fall of 2021?
Of 2020.
Oh, fall of 2020, right.
Experts are saying that it's not going to happen until 2021, so I'm not sure what these artists are thinking, but we'll see.
I was talking with a restaurant guy, and he was saying that even when restaurants start to open up, like the social Gesundheit, they're probably only going to be able to have like half of their normal capacity for like their dining room, for example, like because people have to space out more. And so all these restaurants are going to keep on having to do takeout just to hit their normal revenue goal, if they can even do that, which is really weird.
Yeah,
it's all strange.
John Taffer from Bar Rescue was talking about that on Barstool Sports about like, you know, if you're a restaurant and you're a bar in this time, like when you do come back after this, like how do you conduct your business? Because it can't be the same way it was before. There'll be a lot of changes you have to make to accommodate for a lot of different things now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, bars are probably struggling super hard right now because you can't do takeout like tequila shots.
I think for some reason I heard about this. I'm not sure if it's true. Like I live right next to the mall, and there's lots of like restaurants and bars and stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of people that are like restaurants are like giving out like alcohol, but like not opening anything.
Interesting.
So I guess you can buy the alcohol now. They like made some like rule adjustment or whatever in the law, but
yeah, well, you can sell certain things. You can sell like breweries are doing that. Like you can sell beer, growlers, like canned beer, and you can do that even for pickup, which is kind of strange, but you can. But you just need to get a license for it. But yeah, I wonder. I mean, maybe if they're doing like batched cocktails or something, maybe you could sell that. But that'd be really shitty though to try to be doing that right now. It's pretty crazy.
That's what it is. So quickly wrap up the weekend. Shorter review, but if you had to give it out of 10, what would you give it out of 10?
I'll say I'll rate my experience listening to it, and my experience listening to it was like a 7. 0.2.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, first listen, I will give him like an 8.
Okay.
But this is a project, say, because I found out they were selling it like the physical copy in Target, so I bought the physical copy,
Mm-hmm.
playing it in my car,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized how much I actually love every track.
Hmm.
So I'd say 8.5 to a 9.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Nice. Did you listen to the first time on headphones or earbuds, and then you listened to it in your car the second? Okay. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The second time through with the actual car speakers. So
Gotcha. Nice. Dope.
mm-hmm.
All right, we want to talk Tiger King?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
I was thinking about this morning. Tiger King to me feels kind of like a traumatic experience, because it just crazy and crazier things keep on happening. And for me, I just absorbed all of it. And then I didn't even realize that how crazy of a show it was until I started talking about it with other people. And then I was like, oh, wait, then they did that. Yeah, you're right. Why, that was messed up.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. I liked it. It was, it just kept on getting stranger and stranger. It's like a Hatfield and McCoy's, but exotic animals.
It's the most entertaining watch since Game of Thrones. It's the most entertaining thing.
Mm.
But
such high praise.
No, but honestly, like, what was more entertaining than that? Like,
Ozark.
I was hooked I haven't seen Ozark, so I can't say. But I mean, every minute of every episode, I'm just locked in. Like the first 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, like, what is this? Like, this is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And 5-10 minutes in, I was like, this is the funnest ride of all. This is great. This is peak entertainment.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I mean, first off, Carole did it.
That's the name of the episode. Carole Baskin did it.
Yeah.
Carole. That's the episode. Yeah.
We found it. Yeah. That she definitely did it. I think that
I love how episode 3 was literally dedicating to like talking about how she did it.
I know. They gave the whole episode to it. She's like, it's so crazy. They're saying that I put him in the sewer or whatever it was.
The only reason why a cat would chew someone's shoe if they put sardine oil on them. Ha 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 ha.
That would be crazy.
His hand couldn't fit through a meat grinder. That's preposterous.
And then they're like, "Can we check this out?" He's like, "No." Like, Yeah, she's wild, man. She walks like a crazy person. She rides a bike like a crazy person.
Her eyes, dude.
Yeah.
She has crazy eyes.
Yeah. She really has a. Also, her husband, or her new husband, her upgrade.
Husband.
He is like
husband.
He's a cuck. He is like the most simp person I've ever seen in my life.
Of him on the leash, like with him on all fours, my jaw dropped when I saw that. That was ridiculous.
He looked like Mitch McConnell a little bit. His chin.
He does. He totally does. 100%.
He like when he's singing to her I think it's the second to last episode of the last episode. I forgot
about that part.
That got burned into my memory, and I'm like, this guy's a simp. At that moment, I was like, it's indisputable.
He is. But I think there's a part of him that's like in it for the money.
Yeah.
Like
that dude, man.
Like he is totally a cuck, but like he's also like in it like for financial gain, which like I don't blame him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
he is just so funny.
Akash Singh made this point on Flagrant 2, and everyone on the internet stole his idea, ran with it. He never got credit for it. So I have to give my guy my credit.
Okay.
But Tiger King is basically redneck Game of Thrones.
Kinda, yeah. Because you have the different spaces.
different like tiger establishments
Right.
fighting for power, trying to be the most powerful one. There's like conspiracies. There's
Yeah.
like murder plots. Like it's a whole. It's white trash Game of Thrones, and he is right, and he should have gotten his credit. So, Akash, we're giving you credit right here on the Cook the Coach podcast.
There's also, he's right, because there's also all the different like not sex rings, but weird sexual arrangements and dynamics.
Dude, it's white trash Game of Thrones. That's all it is. But it happened in real life in Oklahoma, Florida, Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Myrtle Beach shocked me because I had grandparents who lived in South Carolina, and we would always drive down to like that Myrtle Beach area. And in my head,
Yeah,
just my young memory, it's just like a fun beach that I went to as a child. And like little do I know that there's like a tiger ring.
Well, here's the thing, though. So Doc Antle, the guy who runs the Myrtle Beach place,
Mm-hmm.
he's been on Theo Vaughn's podcast. He did like an interview with Andrew Schultz, and like basically explained like the entire episode that was about him was like completely falsified. Like they cut and edited the episode to like make him out to be something he is 100% not. He's like, I don't have 9 wives. I literally have like 1 girlfriend. Like all those other girls are like dating other like dudes in the Tiger Sanctuary that like work there. Like those are not my girls. Then,
That's
like,
hilarious. He's afraid of being Me Too'd, and when he's running a tiger ring.
But then he was like, no, but here's the thing. So then like he talks about like remember that girl that was like doing a tell all about like Doc Antle and stuff
In Iowa, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, like literally every single thing that came out of her mouth was like wrong.
Whoa.
And like she wanted like the surgery, she wanted all this stuff.
Sure.
Like everything she said was basically like a lie, pretty much.
According to Doc. Doc, that's interesting. That's a hot take. That's that's exactly what he would say if he wanted to not look bad.
I'll send you the link to both Theo Vaughn and Schultz's interviews.
Do it.
I mean, literally everything. Because here's the thing: like, he's the most sane of everyone on the show.
Sure.
Look, he seems like the most like reasonable, level-headed person. I mean, that's a low bar, but
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I guess so. I guess that he is probably the smartest one. I can't think of, besides like a side character. He's the smartest, maybe main character. Oh yeah.
He seems most regular, like the most.
Although the gang guy, the guy who comes in with Joe Exotic like midway through the show, the con man guy. I'm forgetting his name.
Oh, but you knew he was a con after like one episode. You just knew like, oh, this guy's like gonna screw everyone over.
Right, but he might be smarter.
Is he smarter? Because he hasn't made any money in years.
You might be right. I'm just saying he could be a runner-up for smartest on the show.
Sure.
Even though he's like, because at very least you got to trust him, and if he did set him up, that's pretty impressive. I had an affinity for some of Joe's helpers. Like some of them seemed like good people.
Yeah.
That guy with there's a couple guys that he had that seemed like they were trying to help out the animals, even though they were clearly complicit. Like the guy with the super long blonde hair. He seemed like the most genuine and good person in the show.
I think he's just tired and didn't care anymore.
He was exhausted, and he was like, "Man, I'm just trying to help the animals," and that made me sad to see. But I was like, "Oh, I think he's a good guy, actually." Yeah, that person
is actually good though. If they're just complicit with what's happening.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you're not doing it all yourself, but like at some point,
they're not great.
That's like a moral line in the sand, if you will.
Oh yeah. It's so weird to hear the way they justify holding on to the animals. Like, they're like, oh yeah, well their habitat. Well, what's crazy is like there are more captive tigers in the U.S. than there are in the wild, or like than there are just tigers in the wild. And
Mm-hmm.
so their argument being like, look, they don't have their habitat, and so we're providing as close as they could get to a habitat. And then they have more numbers than the people outdoors. I'm not saying they should be doing it, but I can't say that it's at least not effective in increasing the number.
You know what it is? I think Joe and Carole are like the opposites of each other.
Yeah.
Like, I think Joe started off in like a positive way. Like, I care about these animals. I want, help them, come up in a good, safe environment. And then eventually turned to the dark side. It all became about the money and the fame and, being
Right.
this tiger king.
Yeah.
And I went off the deep end with that.
Yeah.
I feel like in Carole, she obviously started off, and they did not cover this enough. And I think maybe they did, but enough people are not talking about it. Is like, yeah, Carole killed her husband. We know that. But on top of that, she started off in like a grummy place. Like she was breeding these cubs. And, like she admitted, like, yeah, I was breeding cubs with her, as if like she's gonna be reprimanded for that.
Yeah.
And then she put this image on of like, oh, I'm a good person. I like save the cubs. I'm the one who's like taking care of them now. I'm not one of the people who like breeding them and like doing bad things with cubs. When she was doing that for years, and then she made this new switch.
Right. She's at least trying to look like a better person on the outside.
Yeah. It's like there's this meme going around. It was so funny. It was like me trying to figure out why Carole Baskin owning tigers in cages is different than Joe owning tigers in cages. Like literally, what's the difference?
Yeah, when Joe Exotic is like, yeah, she's having people pay to come see him too. Like, what's the difference?
What is the difference? What is the difference?
If she's the caging, there's really no difference. But if she's, I guess it depends if she's euthanizing or breeding. And I don't know if she was doing that. At least later, that'd probably be the main difference. Because Joe was definitely doing that. That was dark when they were like, "Oh yeah, we shot the tiger in the head, like burned it or whatever." It's like, Jesus.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's so wild, man. It was just it just made no sense. And by the way, I'm not saying I remembered who Joe Exotic was, but there was a little part of me that was like, this guy, like something about him. And then that John Oliver clip came up, and I was like, that was the dude.
Yes. I remember that. I was like, I feel like I've heard of this guy somewhere, but I guess I haven't. I just assumed I didn't know who this guy was. Yeah. And then I rolled John Oliver clip. I'm like, I remember where I was when I watched the John Oliver clip like a couple years ago. It was like a flashback instantly.
Man,
it was so exciting for me.
Same. I couldn't believe it. Think of how many people go viral for weird stuff and then could have a whole documentary made about them.
Yeah.
Like all these just weirdos being on like these like 10-second clips, and then there's a whole series there, baby.
The entire series.
That's pretty crazy.
Who burned the shed? Who burned it down?
I think Joe did.
You think it was Joe?
I think it was Joe personally.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. What do you think?
I don't know. I keep going back between Joe and the camera guy.
I don't know. The camera guy might have done it.
Yeah, the producer guy.
But what would his motive be?
Well, he's been in 2 other arson cases before that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. Oh.
So yeah, I can't decide if it was Joe or if it was him.
So why would he? So he was in arson cases, but what would be the reason for him doing it then? Would it just be he would got nervous that he'd get indicted or something? That's so weird. I was looking at the show, the Tiger King, from like a production perspective. Like, how did they get the footage and when? Especially, I really started thinking about that once they said they burned everything down. I was like, what have we been watching? How did we get all of this?
There's a couple things I don't add about the documentary. Like apparently when they were filming it, no one they interviewed like knew what this was for. Like they all thought it was like for something totally different. Like if I was like for a documentary on like tigers.
I mean,
Like not like this huge like crazy story.
sure.
They didn't know that's what it was about. It's like everyone who's being interviewed like was totally blindsided by this documentary apparently.
How could you ever be involved with some shady stuff and say yes to a documentary? It just blows my mind. Like, I saw a news article that was like Carole Baskin doesn't like how she was portrayed in Tiger King. Like, you didn't have to be in Tiger King. Like, how did you think? It's just shocking.
Do you hear they reopen our case?
They did?
Yep.
Good. Gotta check that septic tank.
That's if they convict Carole of killing her husband, that might be the biggest win of 2020.
2020 would be a wash otherwise, but if Carole Baskin goes to prison.
If Carole Baskin goes to prison, well, it's called 2020 wash. Who won in 2021?
Yeah.
We do this whole thing over.
Wow.
That would redeem part of 2020 if Carole Baskin got sent to prison, I think.
It would. Everything would kind of start to make sense. Like, oh, this is what had to happen.
Justice was served.
The world here. Somehow just the universe knew that everyone at Earth needed to be home binging Netflix, and this would be the time to get everyone's attention.
Now apparently there's an episode 8. They just released it.
Episode 8 of Tiger King?
Yeah, where they like have like interviews with some of the people now that it's been aired and stuff like that. It's like a recap show pretty much.
Oh. Have you watched it?
No, but we should watch it and review it and talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Next podcast.
I'm down. I'm sure I'm going to keep on remembering things about this show, man. It's so weird. Whitney Cummings had a great take. She was like on her Instagram. I didn't hear your take
on it. I've been meaning to hear it. Well, what did she say?
She was, I only saw part of it, but she was saying, her point was like, everyone's saying, wow, that guy who owned tigers is crazy. Like, yeah. Why do you have to say, of course? That's like where she started. It's like, of course, all of this makes no sense, which I thought was really funny because it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of the most redundant thing you could say. I own tigers. I loved how they were like, oh yeah, people who own wild animals, there's always a dark side. They always have a thing. People who own monkeys have this thing. But people who own tigers, they'll stab you in the back. They'll betray you.
That's so interesting that she said that. But it's like such a simple way to see it, though. It's like, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course the guy's crazy. He owns live tigers. Opposite right. Wrong brain. Like,
of course.
Obviously.
Of course. This isn't breaking news. It's like the most obvious thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What was I going to say? Dang, I had a thought.
It's okay.
Oh, isn't Joe Exotic supposed to come home like earlier than expected?
Is he? For good behavior?
Honestly, I think so.
That's great. I hope so. I hope he can get a fresh start.
Do you?
That would be nice. I do.
Does he need to be back in the streets? I don't think we need him out there anymore.
I think that...
I'm okay if he stays where he's at.
I think he has a good part in him still, and I think he could come around. I think he could just be like...
I think he's a lost case, I think.
You might be right. He's been globally humiliated, and he'll have been in prison for a while. And at that point, like, if he finishes his sentence and stuff, like, what is he going to do to make it right? Like, other than just move on and just not do other stuff, you know? Like,
what's he going to do after his sentence is over, though?
I mean, he said he's out of the animal game. So I don't know. Maybe he'll run for office again. I don't know. He seemed really scared.
Ran for office again? That'd be hilarious.
What if he ran for, like, local? Like, what if he wanted to be, like, on, like, the school board? And just work himself up, like Parks and Rec style. Just, like, have smaller positions.
Right.
That'd be really funny if he ran the Parks and Rec department. That would be incredible, actually.
I mean, you would imagine that. Oh well, you know what you could do is write a book.
I mean, the book tour. There's gonna be so many book tours. You know
You know
that Doc probably already has like 3 books that are like bestsellers. That's his vibe.
probably. But if Joe did a book tour and like wrote a book, you could make a few million and just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna call it good and just retire and just not do anything and live with the sins of my past.
Yeah.
And you know
So,
what?
yeah,
That's a good way to go out.
that's pretty funny.
Make a few million from the book, then just chill.
Dude, couple thoughts. Joe Exotic was making content. He was living by like the content is king philosophy
Yes, he
since
was.
like the early 2000s. Like he had his own TV show every day.
He was the original like YouTube, Instagram influencer.
Yeah, that he was the original vlogger.
He was. He was the original vlogger.
Everyone else is just copying what he did. All the true
for
vloggers
sure.
know it.
Oh yeah. Logo
What was the
plugging
other-
up the entire chain.
Right? Yeah, it's all
Watch it be
just
the billboard. Yeah.
regurgitating what he already just paved the way for.
Yeah. For sure.
Doc, that shot of Doc riding the elephant and then taking a river bath with him, it literally looked like his body with the elephant and then them walking and then in the water. So it looked like a Disney shot. Like it didn't look real. It looked like animated Disney from 1970 something.
You know why it looked so great? Because Doc actually has like a legit like reserve, like legit like top of the line wildlife reserve, whereas both Carole and Joe are just dumps, but they still make money off of it somehow because they use the cubs. Whereas Doc was talking about they basically made worse in documentary, but on the average he's like, yeah, we literally have the cubs be petted like twice a week and that's it. Like we just we let them, you know, live as tigers. You know, we don't have them as, you know, money makers.
Sure.
You know?
I mean, I hope so. My thing after watching this really made me kind of feel sentimental or bittersweet. I don't know. Is there an ethical way to have a zoo? I don't know.
I mean, depends on your ethics.
I mean,
You know, I feel about animals.
Eat most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we eat bats and spread everything like China does, but at the same time, it's like I think we care too much about pets and like animals. Like, oh, they have feelings, we should care for them. It's like they'll rip your face off if they have the chance. Like they don't care about you. You shouldn't care about them either.
But what about like once you get involved with them though, like and then you're like euthanizing them or something like that, or like having them not live in what they would be in their natural habitat, then you're like interfering.
They're animals. I don't care.
But why do you interfere? Like, why would you? That's my thing. I don't know if you could interfere in a way. Because I was like, man, like, I wonder if like the Minnesota Zoo ever euthanizes
We are
animals.
the dominant species on this planet. We are highly more intelligent than any other species on this planet. That's what happens.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's that Lil Dicky argument. That's from the Pillow Talk video. Do you remember that?
I'm just saying, man. Like, Americans are too connected to animals. Ethiopia, animals are animals. They don't treat them as family. It is what it is.
Just part of it.
Dogs, either guard dogs or they're street dogs. There's no in between. They're there to help you work and keep your property safe, or they're just on the streets and they're just swimming around in the trash. They're not for you to play with, not for you to love. Dogs don't love you, and you don't love dogs. That's how it is over there. And I like it.
Oh boy.
Boy. You have livestock, kids. I told you a story on this podcast. Kids,
you did.
They'll play with the lamb. They'll have fun with the lamb. They'll enjoy the lamb for the time being. One time for dinner, they wash up. They wash the lamb's throat. It's slit. They're in time.
You're going to tell your grandkids that someday, and you're going to just keep telling them that story. And that'll be one of the stories that Grandpa Bays would always tell.
I really hope so. I mean, I hope they learn from that story.
Yeah. Hope they like learned the lesson.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So I didn't really feel bad for the animals. It's not like, okay, I'm not saying they should like be treated poorly and they should have like bad living conditions. But at the same time, I don't think there should be like a whole organization that like devotes all their time and efforts to making sure that animals are treated the same as humans. You know what I mean?
I mean, the same as humans? No. I think they should just have like a natural habitat that they would have.
But Ken, how many people do you know? They're like,
Just going crazy.
dogs are the same right as humans. Like, how many girls say like, "Oh, I love my dog more. I love people."
Well, yeah, that happens. But
Like, I'm
that's
sorry, but to me, if you love your pet more than you love other people, you're an insane person. In my book,
you need to have more social experiences if you're going to
that's
say
what I'm
that.
saying. Humans are
Yeah.
animals. This is how I see the world.
Yeah. I've been hearing that animals have been getting more bold recently just with everyone being on lockdown for coronavirus. Like, I've heard that coyotes have become, they've been kind of entering closer and closer to what would be like cities and like more suburban areas. And
Yeah.
not that they weren't already living there, but they're getting a little more confident. Um, on my walks, I've been seeing so many deer like in the middle of the day. It's very weird.
Well, I mean,
It's
part
like,
of it's spring time. People want to come back out. The animals want to come back out and play. But
I guess so. That's got to be part of it. But I feel like it feels stronger this time around. I've just been noticing like seeing more animals. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Although this is the first spring I've been in this neighborhood, so maybe that's just what this neighborhood is like. But
yeah, there's more deer in Little Canada than there is in East St. Paul on the Hood. Or
there
few
was
more.
a there was one time I don't think this I imagined this. I'm pretty sure this happened when I was in like third grade. I think that there was a loose brown bear or black bear that was walking around Eastside St. Paul, and he might have even been on our street at one point. We weren't home for it, but we heard about it on the news
Actually, you know
later.
what? I do remember you telling me about that a while ago.
It's a
Yeah,
vague memory, but I kind of remember
it was a
that.
while back. Yeah, there was like a bear on the street just walking
Yeah,
around.
which is very much like what Tiger King had when they were like when certain animals would get released. Like that was sad when that one zoo had the release and then they just shot down. They just mowed down
They
all
shot
those
like
animals.
10 lions. I was like, what?
Like that's what. Yeah. Like what the heck? It can go bad so fast.
Yeah.
I need to listen to that doc interview now because
I'm going to
he
send it to
just
you. He
he's
explains
so
everything so well. He's
he's
like, yeah,
just
like
so
this is all.
charismatic. I could see him just having he just had his story so well put together. Also at the end when Joe Exotic's newest boyfriend is like going through his like papers and stuff while he's in jail, and then they pull up that one document about Doc, and then he like pulled it away and like hid it. I was like, that was weird. I feel like that body language spoke volumes. Do you
Mm,
remember that?
I don't remember that.
I think
I'll
it
go
was on
back
the
and look
last
at it.
episode. Well, I guess episode 7, not 8, the new one. But yeah, there was something about Doc, I believe, and he just like pulled the paper away. Like the producer of Tiger King was like, "Hey, what's this? Doc Antler, blah blah blah," and then like, whoosh, like pulled it. It's like,
Interesting.
trying to cover something up, maybe.
Who would you say was the most interesting character to you?
Mm, I mean, that's a good question. About the ones falling. I don't know. I think the easy answer would be Joe Exotic, just because he goes through so many different things. But part of me is so interested with some of the minor characters, like the producer that the show opens on. I'm really interested in him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All these people who are acting like they're not involved with how wild the situation got, or just
Mm-hmm.
are distancing themselves from it. It's so interesting to figure out like how they connect to it. So yeah, maybe that producer was one of the most interesting guys. Otherwise, maybe Doc, because Doc was like he was kind of crazy, but also seemed like he had the most business acumen and seemed kind of like the big brother of the story. Like, this
Yeah,
is how you avoid these problems and don't get a Netflix documentary made specifically about you.
right. To
What about you?
me, it was Joe. Joe is definitely up there. Who's the con man again? What's his name?
I don't remember. He was interesting.
He. I
Jeff.
just
Jeff is Jeff.
Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, he was so smart but so dumb at the same time. Like he was
Yes.
fully smart and dumb to me. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like
Very confusing.
like you could like throughout the documentary you see like stuff progress. You like, oh, I see where this is kind of heading. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like this the other Connie ran with the other guy trying to set up that new zoo. And like how like he wasn't paying for anything, he wasn't like doing anything to like set it up. It was like, dude, like eventually this your partner's gonna figure things out and then dump you
Yeah.
because this is a you figure out this is all a con at some point. And
Totally.
he does. And you're just
Yeah.
like, how could you like con all these other people, but you couldn't con this person who was much more simple minded?
So
Like it was just
weird.
it didn't make any sense to me,
He
you know?
really had like the Fox from Zootopia vibe, just a little bit, with just his conning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was more he felt dangerous. He felt really dangerous. Like his domestic abuse storyline was pretty concerning, and he seemed like the way he would imitate Joe Exotic's voice was like, this guy is like deep down a bully and deep down like a dangerous guy. Like
Like
he would have
he's
killed
untrustworthy.
Joe with his own hands if he could have. Like if things had come to that, he would have
Like the moment he's on screen, like there he's had untrustworthy vibes. You know,
immediately.
I'm just wondering how that didn't permeate in real life with these people. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe he was that charming and that, cunning.
Yeah.
And they do bring up a good point in the documentary when everyone's like, he had the money, or at least he appeared to have the money. So why wouldn't you trust him? Which I kind of guess, if you're in that position where you're getting paid $100 a week, and here
Yeah.
comes this guy who's like able to help solve a lot of your financial problems at the place you
Yeah.
work at, you're more
Right.
inclined to trust the person, I guess.
He was the worst. The worst. He was like entertainment. He's like someone who would be involved with Entertainment 720 from Parks and Rec. Like when they were talking about how he was selling he had the bus tour with the tigers and would just ride around the strip in Vegas. and then the girls, I guess, would sleep with the guys because they had tigers. It was just so embarrassing. That would happen at Entertainment 720.
I mean,
That'd be like a friend of John Ralphio.
it's just that's the thing about this documentary is like there isn't you're always shocked by something new every like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like every 10 minutes like a new revelation that's brought up and you're just like, what? Then another 10 minutes go by, you're like, wait, what? Like it's like the ante just keeps rising as far as like craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah.
Also, you talk about how ridiculously low both the wages that Joe paid his employees, they're like criminal, like not even minimum wage.
Yeah.
And then how he who was I forget the guy's name, the guy he hired to go kill Karen. Oh yeah, I'll pay you 5,000. Oh wait, I'm gonna pay you 3,000 to go kill somebody. It's like,
oh yeah, yeah, like not even following up on that. That's wild.
that's wild.
That was funny because when I was watching that part, I was just kind of just absorbing all of it. Like this is a lot, but okay. And then they were like, they're paying them $8 an hour, and I was like, what? After that, And they've been like, these people may have been murdering their spouses and euthanizing tigers. I'm like, okay. And they were paying their employees $8 an hour.
Yeah. Like that was, yeah, for some reason, like that was like just as crazy as like plotting to kill somebody. I don't know why. But like for some reason my mind is like it was the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a good point though. It's like the show was like so intoxicating that you wanted to keep watching and just be hooked by it. But it was so much information coming at you so fast you had to like take a break every once in a while, just like sit there with it and like think. It's like, okay, what did I just watch? Like what just happened on the screen?
That's wild. Well, yeah, I'll watch that episode and see what I think of that one. Because
yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the episode tonight because it's. I'm curious to see what the people who are on documentary have to say about it now that it's out. I wonder, like, if their thoughts of things have changed now that they're more moved from the situations.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Same.
Also, we should review the Jordan doc. Next episode too.
The Jordan doc.
The Last Dance.
I haven't seen it. Where is it? What is it on?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
Well, they release 2 episodes every Sunday, and it's on ESPN. But then, like the next day, it's supposed to be on Netflix after that.
Oh, awesome! I'm totally gonna watch that then. I thought that was just an ESPN thing.
It was really good.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll watch that. Yeah.
Oh, how long have we been going for?
About an hour.
About an hour. Should we cut it here?
Yeah. Drop it,
guys. Well, actually, let's wrap up with quick quarantine thoughts. Any more quarantine thoughts?
I'm living with my family right now during this quarantine, and it's really interesting how we're all handling the proximity. And it's just like you just bottle up because you're just so close to everybody. That's getting old. I like being around my family, but it's getting really weird being so constantly around them, and nobody's handling it well. But I don't know. I will say that I am in a position where I can kind of just enjoy the extra free time and just practice stuff, which has been fun. I got some Moment camera lenses, those ones that you put on your phone, and I got those yesterday in the mail, and so I'm excited. I might just start learning how to use those. So
nice.
Yeah. Nice. What about you?
For me, I think I'm gonna miss quarantine because I love this new normal. I love getting paid, just sitting at home. I love not paying my student loans. Love the fact that I get to cook every day and eat my own meals. Love the fact that I have time to like do 2 full workouts and like an actual gym. Just focus on getting better in that department. So like, I have no complaints about this life I'm living right now. The only thing I don't like is not seeing my friends, but other than that, everything's okay.
Yeah. I feel that. I'll kind of miss quarantine too when it's over, if and or when. Really have no idea.
I'm okay with living this for another month or so. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, same. Honestly, me too.
I would not complain. All right, guys, we love you. We hope your quarantine's going okay. Feel free to reach out to us anytime about anything. I think we should start off with Cook and Coach segments and bring those back next time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Give people some tips during quarantine.
Cool.
Yeah, follow on Instagram, podcast The Cook and the Coach, and then Twitter at The Cook and the C1. And then my handle at Beza Tinsaya. And then Ken, your handle.
Yeah, so on Instagram, KPMartin2, KPMartan2. I've also started a food page. It's just like a very casual page where I'm just kind of documenting some of the things I'm cooking with right now family, but it will be friends too. That's at Haymarket Catering on Instagram. And if you want to listen, if you have free time and you want to listen to music, I have an EP. It's called Bucket List, and it's available, I think, on all platforms, but under like Kenny Martin Bucket List on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, etc. So check it out.
Guys, that's been another episode. We will see you next time.
Bye.